Welcome to the Economy Creators podcast and radio show on K-Fred Lifestyle Optimization Radio. I'm your host, Mary Farias. Economy Creators spotlights real stories of entrepreneurs and creators building their own personal economies around their unique interests, talents, and experiences. If you're an economy creator and would like to be on the show, I invite you to reach out and apply to be a guest. I love meeting and spotlighting economy creators. Welcome to the Economy Creators podcast. I am here today with my friend Kay McKenzie, and she is the founder of Women in Alignment, which is a global networking and business growth community that I am so proud to be a part of. And she supports solo women entrepreneurs in building visibility with the right audience and strengthening their positioning and becoming known for their work in a way that leads to real opportunities. Kay, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. I'm truly honored to be here, and I'm looking forward to our discussion today.
Wonderful. Well, Kay is also one of our co-authors on the Economy Creators anthology that we will be publishing later this year. And she has an incredible message for our readers. And Kay, do you want to talk a little bit about the story behind the chapter that you are going to write?
Yes, absolutely. The conversation about money, once again, thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this book as well, just today's show. But with the book, I wanted to write something that I truly believe in. When it comes to creating your own economy, the thoughts we have create our realities. And oftentimes, I know there's a misalignment between the thoughts that people are having and, what their desires are. So, with my chapter, I hope to inspire people how to create a fertile atmosphere or mindset that can truly grow wealth or an economy that they can be happy with.
Yeah, I love that. So tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us how that idea sparked in you.
Well, I'm like so many women who have decided to start their business. One of the reasons I wanted to start my own business as well is because I love freedom. Like I truly, truly, truly love freedom. I think that's the ultimate luxury in life is to be able to be free. And in order to be free to do all the things that you want in this kind of society that we live in, you need to have wealth or money to be able to do so. So it's essential that you have a mindset or your work creates the economy that can afford you the freedom that you desire so much. So that's why I was inspired to write the story. How can I convey the ideas and philosophies to the readers to create their own economy so they too can have freedom? Before we started this discussion, we were talking about, the recent war that's going on. I'm not sure when you're going to be watching this, but we were talking about the war that's going on. And one thing that you should truly understand that there are always going to be distractions in the world. But when you create your own economy, you sort of create something for yourself that regardless of what's happening around you, you're not so much affected by it. So I thought this was perfectly aligned with the mission that I'm doing as well, helping women to attain freedom through their businesses, of course, and also financially as well, so they can afford the freedom or the luxurious lifestyle that they desire.
Yeah, I love that word freedom, Kay, and I think that you exude it so well because you live all over the world. And I think that that is magnificent. When I first met you, you were living in Turkey and then you moved to Dubai and now you're in where do you want to share with the audience where you are?
Absolutely. I'm currently in Phuket, Thailand. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful city. And especially if you visit, I do recommend Bangtao. Love it.
Wonderful. And so what gave you that impetus to start traveling and just take off and explore different parts of the world?
What gave me that impetus? As a child, I never really fit into society. And what I mean by that, there were um, customs that didn't quite make sense to me. And I just always wanted to do my own thing. I grew up in a very Christian like school or Anglican to be specific. It was part of the Church of England and then they kind of started their own thing. But I never really fit into that paradigm. I always wanted to do my own things because I had questions about the ideas that they were putting forth, and it just didn't make sense to me. So I always wanted to do my own thing ever since I was a child. So I've always been attracted to freedom, and I don't look at the world as most people do. Like, one of my belief is I believe in God, not spiritual necessarily, but I do believe in God, and everything that God creates is for me. God created this world. This world is for me. I'm Most people see me in Thailand, in Dubai. I see myself as being in God's house. I can go wherever I want. It's my father's house. It's my father's kingdom. I can do whatever I want in this kingdom because I am his child. So I'm kind of living by my own. I've created my own philosophy. Yeah, I guess. So now I'm creating my own economy as well. So that's really where that came from. It's just I'm in my own world, basically.
Ah, I love that because you talked about the fact that there are so many conditions and paradigms that we're thrust into throughout our entire life, and we don't get the choice of how we are programmed or how people are trying to program us. And so many times people who are, like you, who are freedom seekers, are the people who don't fit in because people believe that you're supposed to act and do things in a certain way.
Yes, 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 yes. So true, so true. And speaking of doing things in a certain way, I'm actually currently reading that book, so that line stood out to me. I probably need to read it again today. Thank you, Mary.
Well, the fact that we were all conditioned and people around us, our parents, our teachers, our schools, our religions have put us in boxes, and this is how we are supposed to act, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And they use the dogmatic approach that if you question it, you're also that as well. But one of my philosophies also is that one man cannot serve two masters. I can either serve man or I can serve God. I've chosen to serve God. That's why I don't live by man's principles and ideas and philosophies. If it feels right within me as well, and if it feels true to God, one of my beliefs as well is that if you love God, you also love His creation as well. So simply, I'm simply good to God's creation, others, and I'm obedient to God, whatever that may be like. To other people might look very untraditional or not sure what the word I'm looking for, but doesn't matter. If I feel confident that God would be happy with what I do, then I'm completely fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's so great because I think I was just reading actually in Neville Goddard Power of Awareness that man cannot serve two masters. I just read that yesterday, so thank you for reminding me. And but that's so true. We have to decide first and foremost where we're going to put our attention,
Yeah.
whether it's our belief or our intention or attention, we get to choose. And I
Yeah.
think that that's the marvelous thing, and that's what you really are portraying with your life, and you're living what you preach, and I truly appreciate that. So, was there ever a time where it was hard for you to go off and seek the freedom that you felt that you knew inherently that you deserved, but just by being a human being? So, is there any time that you felt constrained before you branched off and sought your freedom?
Um, the only time I had a reservation was while I was on my way there. The first time, we talked about, you mentioned that the first time you and I connected, I was in Turkey. Um, what was scary to me was staying stuck in the same place. That was scary. And I was very motivated to leave because I was just more focused on to attain the vision or to attain the lifestyle. I always wanted to be able to, have a lifestyle where I can do pretty much whatever I wish to do. Just make the best of this opportunity. We're only here for a short time, not a long time, so let's make the best of it. And sometimes that might take you to different parts of the world. The only time I had reservations about, freedom was on my way to Turkey when I flew from Jamaica to Germany and then to Turkey. And I think on the flight, I thought to myself, what are you doing? But I was already on the plane and there was absolutely no turning back. But when you have like a spiritual relationship, and I don't want to make this religious and all, but Once you have a spiritual relationship and you know of this entity, God, for example, that can, you have God on your side, what is there really to fear? It's like the only limitation we experience are the ones that we create in our mind. And if we're cognizant of that and just try to resist, having thoughts that near limitations, fear, or any sort of negative emotion, then we can definitely go forward. It's all about the mindset. You're going to have moments where, you're going to have doubts, you're going to be worried, you're going to be concerned, but never stop going forward. You'll never regret moving forward. You'll definitely regret if you stay stuck. But if you keep moving forward, you'll never regret it. And one thing you have to learn is, well, everything is a learning experience. You're either going to attain what your desire, or you're going to learn a lesson that's going to propel you to get to your desire. If you could keep moving forward, you're definitely going to get to your goal. But you should understand that, yeah, it's like it's not always perfect or a bed of roses going forward. There are going to be times where you're questioning everything, but just keep moving forward. And it depends on how passionate you are about your goal as well. And I think the work that Mary does, especially, it's so important. It talks about visualizing, just keep reminding yourself of the vision. That helps to motivate you as well. When you get lost, for example, you can go back to that vision. There are things that I can think about and I'll just instantly be happy. We talk about, having a certain mood and mindset as well. Visualization helps with that. When you visualize, if you're thinking about your problems, of course you're going to be down, you're not going to feel motivated. But if you think of all the things that you want to attain or the transformation that you want to help people with, then you get a much better feeling, you feel motivated, and it makes you feel like it is possible, because if you could see, you can definitely manifest it as well. Everything starts in the mind.
Yes. Well, and Neville Goddard also talks about the fact, and so does Wallace D. Wattles in The Science of Getting Rich, is when we create that image of what it is we want, then we are teaching the universe that that's next, right? And
Yeah.
so the universe responds to that. So the more consistent and clear we are with that image, the more it responds to it and says, "Here you go, here you go. Here are these people that you need. Here are the opportunities that you need. Here are the resources that you need." Right?
Yes. Yes.
So, when you got to Turkey, I think what's one of the things is so cool is that you didn't have really a plan when you told me. Here's what you said, "I didn't have a plan, just got on a plane." So 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 you made a huge decision and you said, "This is what I'm doing, universe. Take care of me." And you said something earlier, when you believe that it's God's world and it's for you, right? When we believe that we're taken care of. So how did the world take care of you?
It was interesting. My first day in Turkey, I met a couple. I think I got to Turkey at like 1 a.m. in the morning and I couldn't sleep, of course. I'm in a new country, a foreign country. I don't know what's going to happen. Wasn't worried, but also I couldn't sleep. I think just the anxiety and maybe the excitement as well kept me up. And at 8 o'clock, I was just walking. I just started walking, had no clue where I'm going, but I was walking and looking for a restaurant so I could go have breakfast. And the only store that was open at the time was a Cafe Capsule, which I still remember. And while I was there, I was having lunch and a lady came over to me. She thought I was from Bali. For some reason, people think I'm Asian. I'm not. But she came over to me. She was actually from Bali. And so she thought, I was one of the locals from where she was from. And she came over to me and she introduced herself. She's like, "What are you doing in Turkey?" I shared that I work online and that I can travel to different places and still maintain my business. She invited me for dinner. And then her husband thought she was harassing me, so he was trying to get her away, like, "Leave that woman alone." But she followed up and reached out to me about dinner. I was like, "You know what? You just go halfway around the world. What's one more risk going to be stranger's house for dinner?" And it was so interesting because 5 years later, she and I still talk. They were like family to me. I actually lived in their guest house for 2, 3 years, and we spent every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, every holiday. The husband that was Cass is his name. He became like a second father to me. Actually, he told everyone that I was his daughter as well. So God is almost like God put those people there at the right time for me to connect with them because they helped me so much. They were my support system in Turkey as well. And the my Honey and Cass, they're now back in Holland, and I'm here in Turkey, but we stay connected, and I absolutely love them. Cass is actually the one that told me unconditional love as well. So it's just beautiful. You take risk, and the universe rewards you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And you talked about regret earlier, and you said something I think that's really important. You only regret when you don't move forward and you don't take the chance and you don't listen to that intuition, right?
Yes. Yes. Also, one thing, I'm reading another book, which I kind of go over from time to time. Well, actually, is it Power or Force? I don't know. I'm reading like three different books. So it might be Power versus Force that it says that you only have two options in life. You can be or not be, which you're still being, but you have to choose a situation. For example, Mary offered me an opportunity. Can I talk about it? The book?
Sure.
You will. Yeah,
Mhm.
Mary and I were, well, a group of us rather, were working on a book about 2 years ago or so, and I was part of that project. And as soon as we got towards the end, I felt a bit overwhelmed, and I decided to back out of the book. Had I wait one more month, I would have been a published author and been a part of something so incredible. And I kicked myself every day for not completing that, and it's always been one of my regret. But Mary being, so generous, she offered me the opportunity once again, which is this Create Your Economy book anthology, that I couldn't say no to. I was just like, here comes this wonderful opportunity again, so I'm definitely gonna be a part of it because I do not want to live with that regret ever again. And when she talked about the project and what it was about, I was like, yeah, I definitely want to be a part of this as well, so I can just kind of share my story with so many women.
Aw, I'm so glad you're back. This is so much fun because Kay, you and I have cultivated such a wonderful relationship over the years, and I attribute it to the work that you do. So why don't you share a little bit more about Women in Alignment and your mission behind that? Because I am where I am because of that mission in part, and I think that it is so wonderful, and if people were to embrace it even more for themselves, they they would exponentially grow. So, share with us a little bit more about what you do and why and the mission behind Women in Alignment.
Yeah, absolutely. Women in Alignment essentially started out as an interest community, those that were into laws of attraction. When I was in Turkey, I was looking to connect with other women, and this was around the time that COVID started. So we were, I forgot, was quarantined at home, and I was looking to connect with other women, and I realized I could do that with social media. But I was a part of different groups, and I didn't feel like I quite had the right group, or I didn't feel like there was the right group for me. So I decided naturally to create my own. So Women in Alignment started as an interest group. However, when I realized the caliber of women, or the women that were coming into the group, they were more business related. So we extended on that to, the business networking community aspect. But Women in Alignment essentially is that it's about women working in alignment with each other. Women in Alignment is about all of us, not just one person, kind of working together, collaborating, partnership, and supporting each other, giving advice, exchanging ideas and insights, things like that. That's why Women in Alignment was created sort of as a support community for female entrepreneurs, solo female entrepreneurs. But of course, we've added some more advanced aspects to that group, such as the masterclass training workshops, the networking meetings. Just we're always thinking of different ways that we can elevate the experience for our audience. So Women in Alignment essentially is about creating a space that facilitate connections, collaborations, and also learning from each other. That's why we have the master class as well. And yeah, just connected, feeling supported. This journey, if you're a solo entrepreneur or you're starting a business on yourself, we understand that it can feel really, really lonely. And it's really good to have someone else that you can have a conversation with, and they can relate to what you're going through. It makes a huge difference, and it make you don't feel so alone anymore. When you have someone that you can connect with, that that absolutely get your experiences. And did I cover the why?
So, as you started Women in Alignment, you started noticing the types of women that were entering your space. And so, when did you know at that point? When did you know that you had to become a leader inside of Women in Alignment versus more of someone who just kind of curated a space? Do you know what I'm saying?
Um, I have a very interesting relationship with that word. Being a leader, because it essentially puts you ahead of everyone else, which I don't believe in that. However, I like to be, well, the hypocritical for me to say, but I like to partner and collaborate with other people who are leaders. I like to do business with other people who are leaders. I think the word leadership carries so much weight as well. And also, I think essentially as a leader, you should know when it's your time to follow. Like sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow as well. Sometimes it's best to take a step back and let the person who knows how to do the job much better than you. Okay, when did you say you have to be a leader? I don't think of myself as that. That's why I'm just like having a leader. I don't like that way.
Well, you are a leader in front of all of the 86,000 women. That's you are at the helm. You're the founder.
I like the founder.
Yeah.
You're the founder of the community, leader. No, I'm just doing my own thing. If again, when it comes to leader, it's just like I don't feel like I'm leading anybody. That's just the thing. I feel like either I just say I live in my own world, I'm just doing my own thing, and I get to have people who become part of that journey, and I become part of theirs. But I don't see myself as leading anyone. It's God is leading me. If anybody's behind me, following them, that's fine. But I don't see myself as leading anyone.
Well, I think that you mentioned something that in order to be a good leader, though, you also have to know when to follow. And I think that that is mature leadership. So maybe the definition of leader is different for you in the sense that society has one idea where you follow me versus the leadership that you're displaying I believe is leadership because you are unapologetically you and you are unapologetically following your intuition and your inner guidance so that you are living the life that you truly desire, curating a space for women to show up for themselves and to find the connections that they need. So I really do believe you are a leader in your own right. You may not identify with that word, but I think it's time to redefine what leadership means, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually love that idea, the redefining what it means as well. I could definitely agree with you.
Oh,
What
I
was
love
I
it.
saying? Inspired. There's so many people that I'm inspired as well. You know, even the women that I collaborate and partner with, they inspire me as well. And I learn from them. So I think that's why I also have trouble with that word leadership because chances are I'm leading the entire community when we're learning from each other. We're learning from each other. Yeah, supporting each other. So I think it's almost like we're linked arms and walking forward. That's how I see it. There's some excel better in this area, some excel better in this area, some excel in this area. Like behind the scenes, I'm phenomenal. I think the word leadership is a little bit too general for me. I like to partner with women that have shared values, like very professional, very respectful, very compassionate, great communicators. I can more so identify with values more so than the word leadership, I would say. And I think that's why I'm having a bit of trouble identifying with it.
Ah, I love that. I think that we're redefining it right now, Kay. We're redefining it right now. And that's a leader, I tell ya. Redefining what it means. I'd like to step away from the interview for just a minute and touch on something important. Kay and I are talking about leadership and what it means to be a good leader. Kay may not feel like she is the leader of other people, but she certainly is an example of self leadership. She listens to her intuition. She answers the call of freedom. She trusts that if she moves, she will be supported. There is no stronger example of leading oneself than this. But as Kay mentioned, she doesn't technically view herself as a leader in a traditional sense. Rather, she sees herself as someone who is curating a space for other women to show up for themselves and their businesses. I believe that this definitely fits the definition of leadership someone who is creating space for others to show up. Not everyone is doing that. Those people who hear the call and take action and make the leap into entrepreneurship, into creating their own economy for others to participate in, those are the leaders in our world. And Kay is definitely one of them, whether she identifies as one or not. What's more is that because of these attributes, Kay is inspiring to the people just dreaming about traveling and living across the world, allowing all the reasons not to do so to keep them in place. She is an inspiration. Kay is truly following her own path to freedom. And this leads me to something very important to remember. We don't get to choose who we inspire. We get up, we live our lives, we be who we are, and people are watching. We don't get to choose who that is. We don't get to choose who we touch. That is up to them and how they see us. So I would venture to say that we need to understand this about life. The fuller we live our lives, the more we walk out in trust and fulfill those desires coming up from within, the more we will be seen as leaders, whether we think of ourselves as one or not. Because to the masses, we are doing the thing that people are afraid to do or are trained not to do. I invite you to think about yourself and the bold moves you've taken in your life. Where have you shown leadership? If you're an economy creator, you are a leader. Embrace it. Now back to our interview. All right, I have just two more questions and then we'll wrap it up. So, hey, have you always had the self image that you currently have, or did you have to refine it moving forward as you saw what that goal was that you had for your business and for your life, this life of freedom that you have? How did your self image evolve along the way?
Yeah, absolutely. My self image has evolved through experiences. This experiences that I have helped to shape the person that I'm becoming naturally. I have the vision in mind, the kind of, I think, of my retirement plan more so is what I have in mind. And my experiences ultimately shape who I am. I always think to myself, what's the best way I can handle this? And also take into consideration, how others are going to be affected as well. And I think one thing that we often overlook is the impact we create, whether it be positive or negative. Mary, you're here sharing, your thoughts or perspective about me, which gives me a different view of myself as well. And it kind of reminds me of the impact that we create through our actions just simply by being ourselves. I'm deeply inspired by you as well. With the way that you run your business and just how you maintain relationships and connect with others as well. And that's something I'm also mindful about is that when I create my self image, I also consider the impact that it will create on others and those around me as well. Yeah, I think we're all in this together. I think I saw something recently. Someone said something. It seems very simple, but so powerful. If God wanted us to be by ourselves, we would be by ourselves, but we're not by ourselves. We're here with other people for a reason. And I think it's very important that, the work that we do, we are mindful or cognizant that, it creates an impact um, on those around us as well. Self yeah, my self-image is naturally shaped by just my experiences, to be honest. It's like I'm not the same person that I was last year. Um, and yeah, and I think it has every experience has um contributing to me becoming a better version of myself. And I absolutely love it. In the moment, sometimes when you're going through hard times, it seems like it's the end of the world. I might um leave God a feedback that I'm not happy with the situation. But, after some time has passed, they say hindsight is 2020, then you're like, okay, now I can understand why this happened and, what better version of me that came from it. But that is also a choice too. You can overcome a situation or you can allow it to get the best of you as well. So it's like, and with entrepreneurship, one thing I've learned is that you're going to have a lot of distractions in life, but it's all about being focused as well. and not letting one thing weigh you down because there are going to be like 50 different things. And if you let one thing get to you, there's no way you're going to get to the other 49 things. So it's very essential that you kind of stay true to who you are, be aware of the impact that you are creating around each other, and make sure that what you're doing is fulfilling as well. I think that's very important. Not just do things for the sake of doing it, but how does it make you feel? How does it make others feel? What impact are you creating? Is it good? Is it bad? These are things that you should consider as well.
Yeah.
So,
Spoken like a true leader, Kay.
oh, stop it.
Funny. I love it. So Kay, as we wrap up now, what are you currently working on that is so exciting to you? What do you think?
Yeah.
What is something that's exciting?
Well, what I'm working on that's really exciting is this book project. The Create Your Own Economy anthology, if I'm saying that correctly. I'm really inspired by it because I've been getting into Kabbalah. I love the Kabbalah, the Jewish philosophy on money, and it also talks about creating a fertile atmosphere so that you can attract money as well. And I think it's absolutely beautiful because a lot of time, the universe, it's just going to create whatever you give it to. But you have to have a fertile ground for it to grow. You have to believe that you can make money. You have to believe you can get the price that you set for yourself. You have to believe that you can launch a successful venture. You have to believe. So, in order to create what you want to create, you have to have a fertile, whatever this is called, the body, the bee. I'm not even sure. It has to be fertile to attract what you want. So I'm really excited to share those with the readers as well. So that's one thing this year that I'm looking forward to.
Ah, so good. So where can people go to learn more about you or connect with your work?
Yes, absolutely. I would encourage everyone to join, or not everyone, if you're a woman, to join the the Women in Alignment Business Networking Community for female entrepreneurs. There, I would be more than happy to connect with you. You are welcome to join our networking meeting, or you can also find me on Facebook. My URL, it has Simply K McKenzie. There are a lot of K McKenzie, but Simply K McKenzie would be the correct link for me. More than happy to connect with anyone.
Wonderful. Kay, thank you so much for spending time with me and spending time with our listeners. And I cannot wait to read your chapter. It's going to be so great. Thank you for being a part of this project. Thank you very much, Kay.
My pleasure.
And thank you for listening. Are you an economy creator? I want to meet you. Join me for my free Economy Creators Challenge that I host the first week of every month. And if you're interested in being on the Economy Creators podcast and radio show here on KFred Lifestyle Optimization Radio, please reach out and apply. I can't wait to meet you. Hey, everybody, Mary Farias here of Economy Creators. And ladies and gentlemen, I am so thrilled and excited to be sharing with you that we have solidified all 11 co authors of our Economy Creators anthology that we will be publishing at the end of 2026. I am so excited to be sharing all of these co authors with you throughout the year so you can get to know them and their stories and you will be as excited as we are to get this out into the world. So, one of the things that I want to share with you today is that we have economy creators from all over and from so many different backgrounds to share with you. These economy creators who are writing in our anthology are people who are stepping out, making bold moves, listening to their intuition, allowing themselves to do the thing that scares them, but that they really want to do anyway. These people are inspirational, they're leaders. They are moving forward with their lives and they are examples to follow. So be sure to continue to tune in and listen to all of the Economy Creators podcasts so that you can get to know these economy creators, be inspired, be excited about the stories that they're sharing with you, and start living your best life by creating an economy around your unique interests, talents, and experiences because that's what an economy creator does. They go out, they recognize what they love to do, they follow their passions, they follow their inspiration, and they do it. So be inspired, be an economy creator.